Mamu ina akwaba at the boarding who TV native for any concoction a year MVP catch native for saying a bekaya some months ago and as a year ago, a assistance in another danko kufado, ne Dr. Haj Mudubamia, if he ya kunyana sokoeno. Assistance Dr. Haj Mudubamia, the policy by a friend, a good for oil policy. And a report from the Ghana Chamber of Mines, a beto and sentinel, Sika, Omeki was around 9 billion US dollars. A profit in Kwa, a binder than make here concerning a good for oil policy. A excellency Dr. Hadmon Dubamia and his sisters and Danko Kufado at the buyer. On Sadla, it's still for a NDC Manukuno, a take over. Enim say the CEO of the Ghana Gold Board, the Øver Sami Jenfi, and a down anya sem ketwa. And I think true on an for auto good if you galam CS for no ama dollar to CD rating a strengthened per anya sem ketwa, which is a very good news. Next native for a direct report from the IMF just in Ghana, you lose over 240 million US dollars for anya sem ketwa. That's around Bayes, I think say 2.14 billion Ghana cedis native for Ekwa Enya Semketwa or minor Ashre. All because of Ora Sami Jenfi, Sika abandoned the man, the song Kononkoto good, and from my Ghana native for much Scandibia Hera, a young will be a Siki if you quite die. Next to be pinning good in summer IMF penny and as a director no Ekanodi.
Bank of Ghana is releasing dollars for gold board to buy gold. There is no transparent accounting system, but we tell you, one day, all the transactions and the gold board, where the exchange rate losses, the differentials went to, you would account for them.
So, I mean, the IMF has their latest reports available, and that is what we've been going through currently. And our focus is on the gold board. This is because if you look at the current, state of the economy, is an economy that is being run on the wheels of gold export, and we understand that gold board, for instance, this year alone has been able to sell about $10 billion, dollars worth of gold, which has saved the city in a certain way. But the IMF has an assessment report on the performance of Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program, of which the gold for reserve is a subset, and the gold for reserves is a bit connected to the gold board in terms of the trading aspect of gold, and the Bank of Ghana also getting gold to sell for reserve is also connected. And according to the IMF report, I want to read what the IMF says about the gold board program, and it says that if you look at the gold board program between January and September of 2025, losses from the Bank of Ghana's gold for reserve program reached about 214 million US dollars, and they cited about two key factors. They spoke about trading losses as far as this program is concerned, as well as off-stickers fees from gold board. And we understand that as the gold board initiative is becoming bigger, and also the Bank of Ghana's gold for reserve program, as well as a domestic gold purchase program, is scaling up. Some of these things are expected because gold is a sophisticated mineral, very precious one for that matter. And so if you buy it, you need people to assay it, test its quality and all of that. All of those fees are included. If you are talking about buying the gold itself, if you really want to compete in the market, you need to offer premium prices so that smugglers will not send the gold elsewhere. And we understand that the gold board is putting in initiative to be able to stop smuggling and also even traceability and all of that. But what we understand is that because of the trading losses and off-tickers fees from the gold board initiative, the Bank of Ghana has to do with some $240 million losses so far as part of its gold for reserve program. And we understand that because of the gold exports we did this year, the Bank of Ghana from August 2024 to about September, October 2025, they were able to intervene in the market of about 10 billion, US dollars to actually help the market. And this is significantly from the gold board inflows that we are getting. But one thing that stood out, and the information we are getting currently from the IMF program, has to do with the fact that because of trading losses and then off-takers fees from the gold board initiative, Bank of Ghana has to deal with some losses of some 214 million US dollars from its domestic gold purchase program, or the gold for reserve program aspect of the domestic gold purchase program.
That's quite insightful. I think one of the things that I find very interesting is that it says the domestic gold purchase program poses risks to the financial sustainability of the Bank of Ghana. Really, what does that mean?
In fact, if you remember the gold for oil program, the IMF was against the Bank of Ghana being heavy in the equation in terms of bearing the cost of the gold for oil program. And remember, the gold for oil, for instance, also posted a loss of about some 128 million US dollars, which sat on the books of the Bank of Ghana. But according to the report, it says that that loss is expected to be transferred onto government's balance sheet. It will no longer sit on government, at the Bank of Ghana's balance sheet anymore. And so if you're talking about the risks ahead, it's just like the fund saying that, well, we understand that your gold purchase program, your domestic gold purchase program is scaling up. And because of that, there are down risk attached to it. You're going to buy more gold, you're going to be exposed to higher risk. And the question is, who is going to bear this cost? If it is the Bank of Ghana, then the Bank of Ghana is going to have a difficult situation, because they're going to have their balance sheets being affected. Because already, Bank of Ghana had to take in that $128 million loss from the gold for oil program.
Right.
And now we are talking about gold board initiative and trading losses. That is accounting for about $240 million as far as the gold for reserve program is concerned. Now, many are doing some sort of comparative analysis, Ken.
Yeah.
If you look at, remember last year, for instance, when we had this similar report that said that the gold for oil program, which was introduced under the previous administration, a key program of the former Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, had brought in some $128 million loss, which around that time was about, some billion, Ghana cedis.
Right. And
people spoke about it, right? But if you do the comparative analysis, gold for oil, for instance, in an entire year of 2024, the losses attached was 128 million, US dollars. If you are comparing it to the domestic gold purchase program. But this year, for instance, we've done only about 9 months of accounting period for the gold board initiative and the trading and the off-takers, risks that are exposed and all of that. And it cost around $214 million. And there were a lot of people who raised this concern that, well, the gold board initiative is a good initiative, but if you don't block some of these loopholes, you may end up like Cocoa Board, which every year you may be piling up debt, because if this debt cannot sit on the balance, on the sheet or the books of the Bank of Ghana, the key question is, whose books is this going to sit on? Because the IMF has directed that the $128 million debt, losses that was made under the gold for oil program should be transferred to the government books.
Yeah.
So the key question is, who is going to bear this 214 million, loss? Is it going to sit with the Bank of Ghana? And if it's sitting with the Bank of Ghana, it's going to complicate the Bank of Ghana's, position at the moment, because they themselves are looking for monies for recapitalization. Because of the DDEP program, they got some significant impairment there, and they are looking for money. And remember, the finance minister said that, well, look within. You have assets, try and see how you can actually solve this situation, because we, the government, or we, the central bank, cannot come in and give you about 40 billion or 50 billion, cedis to recapitalize. And so if there are programs like gold board and, gold for oil, gold for reserve programs, which are posing significant, impairment to the Bank of Ghana, then the fund is saying that we need to take a critical look at that, because if we continue to go on this, the risk is that we're going to have down